Do you want to give a quick little overview of the past year or two and then say what happened recently?
Oh,
Or do you want to just go with recently, like this week?
I was gonna, yeah, well, I was gonna give a bit more overview, more generally, that you had famously you had this dictator in Sudan for many years, Omar Bashir, who again was, typical sort of African leader that you try to play both sides. For a couple of years you're good with the West, but then
Yeah.
you're too corrupt to actually handle your own situation. So the West sort of stop supporting you, and then you fall off and all that. So you had him for many years, and there was so much unhappiness and unrest and all that, he got removed. And in 2009, you had a deal, sort of a peace deal between the civilian-led protesters, civilian-led whatever, and the military, who was obviously the remnants of Bashir and all that, right? So you had that for since 2009. So for the last 2 years, but there has been,
2019 then.
to the 2019, yeah, 2 years,
Yeah, you said
right?
nine anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 2019. I'm not good with dates.
Yeah, I mean, that
But
was
then
a
there has
big,
been,
sorry, I'm just going to add at the 2019. I mean, like some kind of mini revolution, like civilian led happened during that time, right? And they toppled them, and then they made this whole like civilian based government kind of to
it
help with the
was like Egypt.
transition. Yeah,
They didn't topple them. It was like military basically said, okay, we get rid of this guy, but
yeah. But
come
then
on,
they
guys,
did
let's
make a
not work together.
council with some civilians on it. And I mean, that brings us to the latest part of the story, right?
Yes,
Kind
yes,
of.
that's the thing. Then, yeah, and there was all these reports. But by the way, all throughout the 2 years, there was reports of government mishandling of the situation and military sort of not staying true to the deal, and either covertly or overtly interfering. And then finally, you had General Bahran arresting the civilian leaders and putting them under house arrest. And now claiming, because the deal was supposed to lead to an election
Mm-hmm.
next year, I think. And then before that election, so General Bahran has arrested the civilian leaders and has put them under the house arrest. And basically, I think they said they're going to choose the civilian government. So Bahran has not announced himself as of yet as the dictator. And Yeah, that was the overview I was going to give. But yeah,
No, no, no.
you want to add
Um,
anything?
no, no, no. Great stuff. That's also pretty much all I know about. So this has been going on for 2 to 3 days. Apparently, there's only one of the civilian like leaders who hasn't been arrested for some reason or hasn't been put
Oh,
under house arrest. So he's still like being
he was on
being
vacation.
vocal. But it's funny you said that it's kind of like Egypt, but I mean on the superficial level that I know a little bit, I kind of liked one thing that Sudan did, unlike Egypt, because in Egypt, you remember how quickly they rushed to an election, right? And then they had the Muslim Brotherhood, and then they were like, okay, get out, and the military took over. So I think overall it ended up being the same thing. But them, I like how they didn't say, okay, all right, fine, okay, tomorrow elections. No, they were like, okay, 2 year transition with like civilian and
Well, I
military.
mean, that
Prepare.
seems to have worked
Yeah,
out
the
pretty
end
well.
game seems to be the same. So I guess I was proven wrong. But when I heard about it, I was like, this makes more
the,
sense, you know? Like if you've
yeah,
never
the only
organized
difference is,
something, you should take your time a little bit. But I guess the end is the same. So
yeah, I don't know. This is, yeah, exactly. It's like more C, 6 months of more C. You like reduce it by,
yeah.
that's the difference. But no, okay. But what I found interesting and wanted to, yeah, as you like, Sudan is not something I have, of course, read about the country and stuff, but it's not somewhere it's a strong suit of mine for sure. But I did see this video, which we put the link in the description. Sorry, I forget if the US official was the ambassador to Sudan or a representative or a special envoy, but it was a very interesting interview with him. And in that interview, I just find he's like the way they sort of reveal themselves without revealing themselves. Like he
Mm-hmm.
talks about, he met General Bahran like a day or a couple of hours apparently before he announced the coup d'etat.
Wow.
And he says, I am very disappointed. We talked about how he was concerned about government's inabilities and security issues and blah blah blah. But I told him that there are great important steps are taken, and that's where we get to the key regarding the restructuring of 85 million debt that Sudan owes. And that's the concern. That's the concern. The neoliberal reforms, I mean, I don't know enough to say that restructuring is necessarily neoliberal. I have not looked into this, but in this interview, and then he, when he said that, you just could definitely see where their priorities lie.
Mm-hmm. Very, 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 very nice observation you made there.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I don't know what to say.
No, that's good.
But that was check out the interview. It was interesting because he also talks about he had meetings with, it's interesting to know what these people are thinking. There seems to be more on Sudan. I found more substantive stuff on Sudan than Ethiopia, which I was surprising.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, very true. I mean, because the
more detailed.
Yeah. But I mean, the South Sudan one is very, it's not South Sudan. Sorry. The Sudan one is happening right now. So I guess that's why there's maybe more information and details emerging, because the Ethiopia one has been going on for years.
No, it's just more details on people and
on people. You're
Ethiopian
right.
One, there is no information on these Ethiopian factions, parties, leaders. Yeah.
No. You're 100% right. I don't have
my research.
Yeah. No. I do get that kind of impression as well. But yeah, I don't have much else to add except Sudan has had problems for a long time, different ones, civil wars and everything, which I believe led to the creation of the youngest country in the world, South Sudan, which has been in existence for about 10 years.
Oh shit! I keep always mixing South Sudan with I keep mixing Sudan with Somalia. It's such a sorry.
Yeah. They are close to each other.
I know, but I thought it was South Somalia for some. Yeah.
No, but I mean, it's irrelevant to this story in a way. I mean, it's not related to the latest. I mean, of course, if you start digging, I'm sure it's very much connected. But right now we're dealing about Sudan anyway, and South Sudan is technically a different country now.
Yes, everything's connected and nothing ever ends. These are the two things you gotta know.